Most traders never backtest because they think it's too complicated or it will take for hours and hours, and that is a mistake. And that's why in this video I'm going to show you how to run your first backtest in only a couple of minutes, even if you haven't backtested before. So obviously the first thing we need to do is come to Forex Online, and here we can either log in or sign up. If we don't have any account, obviously we'll have to sign up, and we can try the free demo if we don't have any paid subscriptions or the lifetime subscription. If we do have, the only thing we need to do is come to log in, and we'll go straight into our dashboard. Here we can find a few ways to backtest. We can backtest different scenarios. Basically, we could backtest on the COVID-19, on the crash of 2008, and many other scenarios that we can use. Or we can use the prop challenge if in case we want to simulate some prop challenges. We can do a blind test to take us to any scenario on any asset and test how strong our strategy is. Or we can upload our trading history to Trade Insights. I must say that Forex Online doesn't keep any data and doesn't keep your strategy, and you don't need to include any passwords. You would only need to upload your trading report with the trades you have opened. Now we know this, what we want to do probably as a new user is to create just a new blank project on our favorite asset and just backtest our favorite strategy to see how it performs. So to do this, we would only have to click on the new project and come here and search for any asset like the euro against the dollar. Here we can see, and now we need to put our name, so let's say test live, and our deposit. Then we would have to come down to our testing period, where we can enter any period from 2003 to the actual day of today. So in this case, if I want to backtest in 2025, I just have to come to 2025 and let's say August. So I would select the 4th of August, and this would be my starting date. Depending on what asset you are going to use, you'll have different range of dates. But normally we are looking at minimum of 15-20 years of data. And the best part is that it's on the web browser. You don't have to download all that data into your computer. So let's continue a bit lower down, and now what we need to do is set our time zone. Depending on where you are living, basically we're going to have one time zone or another. So in this case I live in Spain, and I will be selecting the +1. So I'll just come here and select +1, and that will automatically put the charts in my own time in case I want to trade at certain hours. So now we just need to come down here, session close time is custom, and daylight saving time. Here it depends as well where you live. In this case I live in Europe, so I'm going to select Europe day saving time. And now we just need to put the bars in the New York or the UTC. I normally leave it in New York, and set the leverage for this backtest. The average that I use is 1 to 100, so obviously I'm going to select this one here. Now I just need to create the project, and a quick mention as well, if you want to go for a more serious backtest without ruining it by yourself, because sometimes we can correct the backtest while we're doing it, we can select forward testing only mode. What this will do is that we can't go backwards in the backtest. So if we've done something wrong, it would be as the same as it would be live trading, because we can't correct that error that we've done. So if we don't want to do this, we'll just leave it unmarked and we'll create the project. Now it would appear in our dashboard, like you see, test live, and we'll just have to click on play. If we want to change the name, we could either rename it here, we could duplicate it if we want to test the same strategy but in a different way, or we can just directly open it and start backtesting. And now we're in the chart, there's a few things that we need to know to backtest correctly. First of all, how do we move the bars? We have two options. We can either press play up here, and this will start the actual candles to move. We can regulate the speed here to make it faster or slower, or we can go candle by candle. By doing this, we go backwards or forwards, and we can just move along like that. Obviously, what I personally do is I come to settings and come to shortcuts, because here I can set the bar movement on a specific key. In this case, I have a few keys on my mouse, a few buttons, so I go backwards and forwards on my mouse, and this speeds my backtest up quite a lot. If we need to set any indicators, we can come straight up to here to indicators, and we have from adaptive like custom indicators. We can upload our indicators. We have candlestick patterns in case we want to backtest, like say an engulfing pattern or morning star, or we can go to the classic oscillators, volume and trend indicators. Up here above we can set our time frame from 1 minute to 1 month, or we can add our personal time frame. Let's say I want to backtest on candles of 39 minutes. Well, I can do this thanks to Forex Tester Online. On this bar here, I'll be able to find the typical tools that we always need if we want to draw a few things on the charts. And now the most important, how do we open a trade? So basically, if we don't change it in the shortcuts, I do have it changed in the shortcuts, so I've set it to my mouse, but if not, we'd have to right click and new order. If we click on here, I'll get this small dashboard here where I can open a market, a limit or a stop position. Now all I need to come is to stop loss or take profit, so we can set the risk in percentage, or we can use it as a lot size if you don't want to set it in percentage. And let's say I want to place a limit and I want to place it down here, so I would place it just like that with this here. And now I would set my stop loss, let's say just down here, and my take profit right up here. Now I would select the risk. In this case, normally I would go with a 1%, and automatically it will calculate this 1%, so you don't have to touch the lot size. Like I say, if you want to use this lot size directly, you can, or you can risk directly in dollars. So if I want to say I want to risk $150, it will automatically set itself. And once we got this, we've got virtually everything ready for our first trade. But things don't stay here, because as well we have an additional of the journaling. In case you're more serious about it and you want to journal every single trade, you can just click by opening here, opening the journaling, and here you can enter the confidence levels, enter the tags of your trades. In case you use different setups, you can put like an A+, an A, a B, a C, and you can take a nice screenshot just by clicking here. You'll see the screenshot just here, and then it will appear down here in the journal. So in any case, I'm not going to journal this one right now. I just want to open my trade, and now we just have to wait for the price to come down to my position. In this case, there's two options. We can either scroll through, or we can come here to limit and go to order execution. Price will go forward, and obviously if it takes too long to actually hit the limit, it will give you a warning and it won't continue. Otherwise you could lose like days and days in case the price never comes back here. But if it would have come straight to the buy limit. Another thing that will save you some time, let's say I've got a market order and I'm going to place a buy, so that here I go, I've got the stop loss and the take profit set from the previous trade. And now we have two options. Again, we can either scroll through to wait for the price to actually come to our take profit or stop loss, or we can just come here, go to order close, and it will go directly to take profit or the stop loss. And this obviously saves you tons of time as well. And now we've finished our backtest. The only thing that we need to come is to analytics, and here we'll be able to see analytics insight, our personalized algorithm that studies your strategy to give you the most optimal improvements, where you see here points to improve and the strengths of your strategy. And then we'll find as well the tags analytics, where we'll be able to see how each tag is performing. So let's say if I've got an A+ model, how my A+ model is performing. And as well, we can come down here to see how I'm performing on each session, and as well our typical metrics that we'll find that will help us out understand better our strategy. So now you've run your first backtest in Forex Tester Online. The next thing we need to know is speed. So in the next video just below, I'll show you the shortcuts that pro use to navigate even faster and complete years of backtesting in only a couple of hours.